G'day scrappers, welcome to another video. Question here for the day is copper, silver, gold, Bitcoin, eWaste, cash. Which of these items are you mostly interested in these days, considering the economic climate, the uncertainty of everything in the world that's going on? I've been asking myself this question on what I should be looking at and focusing at, and well, to me there are two items here on this table that are kind of that don't really fit into my way of thinking. And first one is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, well, obviously I missed the boat on Bitcoin as far as getting it when it was like $500 a Bitcoin. I didn't understand it, and I still don't understand it, as far as, you know, opening wallets and all that kind of thing. So Bitcoin, now it's probably, I've missed the boat, and if you don't have Bitcoin, you've probably missed the boat, because you're looking at around $50,000 a coin. You know, for one Bitcoin, this is actually, obviously, Bitcoin is not a physical coin, it's a digital money. And the other oddball thing out of here is cash. Okay, so basically it's a currency. Now, what they've both got in common is Bitcoin is based on currency. Okay, it's just a digital currency, that's all it is. Currency is based on debt. So there's nothing backing it apart from your government owing your Federal Reserve all the money, which the Federal Reserve is a private entity. It's not a government thing. So for me, personally, I don't see much future in currency, because, well, just look at things right now. Look at fuel, gas, food, fruit and vegetables. Pretty much everything is going up, and in some cases things are going up quite a lot. 10-20% just overnight. That's inflation, and so therefore we're buying less and less with this fiat currency that is backed by nothing. Really all it's worth is in this case it's the plastic polymer, and by kilo we can get about 15 cents a kilo for this kind of plastic polymer. It's good quality plastic, but that's all it's worth, really. And Bitcoin, well, you know, yeah, like I said, we've probably missed a boat. And as far as being able to mine Bitcoin these days, well, it would probably take the computing power of a small nation to mine 1 Bitcoin in 12 months. It's pretty much impossible these days, because yeah, it just takes so much computing power. It's not like, say, 7 or 8 years ago when, you know, the average person could actually, you know, try and mine a little bit, and they would get some credits as they went along. So anyway, them two, I kind of just want to throw them aside. I'm not really interested in them, and I don't see the future in them. In as far as like Bitcoin type of currency, cryptocurrency, I do believe that it won't be long before all the governments of the world turn their paper money into cryptocurrency. Just another way to pretty much control everything and be able to see every cent that you spend, where it actually goes. But that's another story. I'm not really you know, into conspiracy theories and that right now. On this channel, I'm just a scrapper, just talking in layman's terms what I think are good investments or real money. So aside from those two things, everything here on the table is real money. You got your eWaste, and well, you can turn this into gold, and therefore it's real money. Pentium Pro, everyone knows. You know, there's not a lot of gold in this sort of stuff, but it is gold. Gold fingers. To get 1 ounce of gold, you need about at least 5 kilos of gold fingers, which is about 11 pounds, to get yourself 1 ounce of pure gold. Thereabouts. There are different methods of refining. Different people get different results. Obviously, the difference between this gold finger, which is a vintage gold finger, very good quality gold, compared to, say, this one, it's a lot lighter. So if you had just this, you know, the more modern stuff, you might need 10 kilos to get an ounce. But if it's mixed with good stuff as well, it's about 5 kilos of gold fingers. So there you go. All right, copper. Well, those of you that are into scrapping, which is most of you that are watching this channel, copper has really done well at the moment. It's like, this is #1 candy copper, and this is, here in Australia, it's going for a little bit over $9 a kilo. Now, it was 12 months ago that this was $5 a kilo, so even less. So it's almost doubled in price. So copper is a great thing. Silver is awesome, and for me, potentially, silver has got a lot of upside to it. Well, as they say, it's the poor man's gold, and yeah, you know, it probably always will be poor man's gold. You know, it just depends on how things go in this world, because, you know, they do say that silver is used for a lot of industrial uses, you know, electronics, you know, spacecraft, electronic vehicles, medicine, all that kind of thing. But you know what? Not many people say that about gold. And gold, well, you're looking at a CPU there, and there's, you know, you're looking at gold fingers there that's still being used in computers. There is still a lot of gold being used in just about everything else. Okay, it might not have antibacterial properties, but it's also used in medical equipment, you know, bonding wires, connections, all the telecom, Wi-Fi stuff. There's a lot of gold, but there is silver too. Obviously, silver they would also use in solar power and stuff. So yeah, but even though when they're using gold, they're using a lot less than they would use silver. But yeah, I think there's an argument for both gold and silver as far as its uses, but silver, we've still got to lean towards silver having the most uses. And yeah, so I don't know, I'm not really sure what this video was meant to be about, but you know, I just want to encourage people to look into other forms of you know, putting your money away instead of keeping all your money in the bank. I'd be wary about Bitcoin these days, because it's so priced high. You know, like, okay, it's 50,000. Some people are saying, oh, within 12 months it'll be 100,000, and within 3 years or 4 years it's going to be $1 million a Bitcoin. Maybe. Hey, who knows? I don't know. I don't know really much about it, and so I don't want to tell you not to buy Bitcoin, but like I said, it's based on money. It's based on, sorry, oh, big mistake. It's based on currency, your current currency. So if you don't really, you know, trust your currency, well, Bitcoin's a little bit different too. And you know, if you got in mega inflation, well, your Bitcoin it's the same thing. If you cash out your Bitcoin, you're only going to be able to buy so much compared to like gold or silver. You know, gold is traditionally known to protect us against inflation, and there's a lot of videos out there. There's some cleverer guys than me explaining how, you know, if you bought an ounce of gold 30 years ago and you compare it to an ounce of gold today and what you can buy today, and so on, with your cash compared to gold, it makes a big difference. Like if you had, if gold was, say, 40 years ago, $200 an ounce, so if you kept one gold and you kept that $200 on the side, what could you buy for that $200 today compared to that 1 ounce of gold today? You see what I mean? Like the gold now is worth $2,000 an ounce. So anyway, copper is an interesting one, and what I've done here is I've put 1 ounce of gold. This is a new, it's called the Golden Eagle. It's a gold nugget from the Perth Mint, current year Golden Eagle. It's just to commemorate the big Golden Eagle nugget, about the 3rd biggest nugget in Australia, I believe. So what I did here is I've put 2 kilos and 3 ounces of silver out here, just to give you a bit of an example, and to kind of think about, you know, if you're thinking about stacking silver, how much silver do you actually stack? It's a big question, because I see some guys and they're going for like 5,000 ounces of silver. Now 5,000 ounces weighs an awful lot, and you've got to start thinking about you know, where you're going to store it, you know, in a secure. You'd need an awfully big safe, and I'm not really keen on giant safes anyway, because, well, the first thing, how are you going to bring it in? You've got to get some tradespeople or some people that are going to deliver that big safe and install it somewhere. And so obviously when they're installing a giant safe, you might say, okay, it's for guns and so on, but you know, it's going to make them think, geez, what's going to go into this massive safe? I don't know. So my dilemma with silver is there's a point where it just gets too much. I'd love to have millions of ounces of silver, obviously. Even 100,000 ounces, even 10,000 ounces of silver would be awesome, right? But it gets so heavy. And so if you compare it to gold, what I've done here is I've got 2 kilos and 3 ounces. This silver here is the same value as this 1 ounce of gold, okay? And look at the difference, you know? So tiny little ounce of gold, throw it in your pocket, and there you go. You got $2,000 or whatever it's worth in your country today. Whereas this silver, just for 1 ounce of gold, we've got to carry all this silver, 2 kilos and 3 ounces. It's about, I think it's the gold silver ratio is about 67 today. Mind you, it was only a month or two ago that, or a couple of months ago, that the gold silver ratio was over 100. So you had to, so for 1 ounce of gold, it would buy 100 ounces of silver. Today, 1 ounce of gold only buys 67 ounces of silver. So the gold silver ratio has leaned towards silver, and there's probably been various reasons. You had that Reddit stuff, you know, where they were pumping silver, and that sort of shot the price up. Right now, just try and buy yourself an ounce of silver. You know, like in America, the premiums that they're charging for 1 ounce of silver is just incredible. It's like 25%, even in some cases 50%. It actually is mostly 50%. So I don't know where I got 25% from. So an ounce of silver in America is 25 US, around there. But the cheapest coin you can buy is 35 US, and then some. And that's incredible. So that's the thing. Supply and demand at the moment. There is a big demand on physical silver, and you know, and it's even dropped down in the last few days a little bit, and that's because of the banks and all that playing around with the paper silver. You know, because they don't have to actually take delivery of it. They just buy future silver, and they say, okay, we'll buy it at this amount, and when it comes to expiry, delivery date, they just extend it. And no, it's just a sham. It's a real sham. It's a lot like the paper silver market is a lot like the paper currency. But so, if anything, me personally, I would not buy paper silver. If you know the old saying, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And speaking of holding and owning, this is a PAMP Swiss 1 kilo silver bar. And if you want to talk about the feel of silver and just the awesomeness of it, I recommend a 1 kilo bar. Forget your 10-ounce bars. I think they're in the middle there. They're nothing. 1 kilo bar is where it's at. There's just a feel to it, and that's a kilo Perth Mint bar. Okay, you hold it. Now they're different in size because obviously the Perth Mint is a chunkier bar, so they both feel good. The Perth Mint actually fits really tight, like you could, you know, come shit at the fan, you could grab onto this and just run down the, you know, run out into the jungle with it. You know, you got it in your hand. It just feels awesome. There is nothing like feeling the feel of a 1 kilo silver bar. I've held a 1 kilo gold bar. They're a lot thinner. Obviously, they still weigh a kilo, so it's the same weight, but they feel different. You kind of need a bigger gold bar to make it feel as awesome as a 1 kilo silver bar. So I recommend, you know, if you ever get a chance to save up, to at least own one 1 kilo bar of whichever you like. And speaking of the type of bars, well, let's forget about bars. Let's go on to the 1 ounce silver. Now, a lot of people buy all different types of silver, all different sizes. To me, the 1 ounce silver coin is where it's all at. Just like the 1 kilo silver bar. 1 ounce silver bars are okay too. But yeah, in silver, 1 ounce is where it's at. And you know, there are people that stack for like they're preppers. They're stacking just in case they're going to have to buy things with silver when you know, the economy goes to nothing, and you know, the doomsday kind of people. And they, you know, they also tend to go towards fractional silver. I don't recommend buying fractional silver. Stick to 1 ounce and that's it. Don't go any smaller, don't go any bigger. The only time you get smaller silver, if you're in America, well, buy junk silver. Buy a bit of that. Buy a bag of it or something like that, or build up a bag. Because junk silver is very recognized in America. So if you're looking for prepping silver, and thinking that you might have to use small denominations of silver to buy bread and milk, but mind you, if all hell breaks loose and silver goes up a lot in value, even if it went up to $500 an ounce, well, this ounce is $500. $500, you know, is not that much money in that kind of situation, because keep in mind that if inflation goes through the roof and all hell breaks loose, well, a loaf of bread might be $50 anyway. You know what I mean? So you're not going to be getting much change from going out and buying groceries or you know, bartering and stuff like that. And even if you do, well, you'll just get change in probably junk silver, the equivalent, or they will probably have smaller sizes. But I don't recommend buying anything less than a 1 ounce silver, because fractionals, the smaller you get, the more premium you're paying, you know, and in the end you just want silver. And so it doesn't really matter what kind of silver you buy, but I kind of recommend that whatever country you're in, stick to the known brands. Like here in Australia, this is the bullion grade silver coin, the kangaroo. We've got slightly numismatic ones, which is the koala and the kookaburra, but you're paying about $3 or $4 per coin premium. Some people like to keep them as well, and they're looking for the appreciation in the collectability value, because they are limited mintages to an extent, whereas this is kind of unlimited each year, and they just keep producing them as they get orders. But this is where I'm at. If you're in America, you know, I'd be going for silver eagles. The premiums are really sky high at the moment. Just check out APMEX or wherever you buy bullion from. American silver eagles are really high premium, but any kind of like sovereign mint. So in Australia we've got the Perth mint, you've got the American mint that does the silver eagles and even the buffaloes. You might have the Canadian mint, which do the Canadian maples. So they're all very recognized, you know, the Mexican Libertad, you know, the Austrian Philharmonic, you know, the British, whatever it is, Britannia. So all those are very recognizable to a lot of people, and obviously every dealer and anyone that's sort of into silver. And so, you know, whereas you got your kind of generic rounds, they're okay. You can get them a bit cheaper, and, you know, they can be a bit fun, but, you know, like how many zombies and, you know, all kinds of weird things that they put onto them, and sometimes it's very political and that, you know, I'd just stick with the real deal. And yeah, I didn't mean to really be going on to silver for that long, but hey, this is where it's at. I think there's a lot of upturn in silver, even though, like I said, 2 kilos and 3 ounces is the same value today as just one. So this is a lot easier to pop in your pocket, and you've got the same amount of money, about $2,200 worth here in Australia. So at what point do you stop? You know, I'm thinking like a good target for anyone is to go for 100 ounces. I think it's a nice target. And whatever your target is, some people might be 200, might be 500. For some people, the target is just whatever they can afford. They might buy 1 silver coin a month, that kind of thing. That's fine. But eventually, you're going to have a decent weight, and if you can, eventually get into your gold. You know, and gold is okay as far as, well, obviously, again, 1 ounce coin is the way to go. You can get fractionals, but you've got to think, you know, gold is not really as speculative as silver. You know, people are looking at silver to really jump a lot because of so many uses, whereas gold is more for, you know, people that are, you know, putting their money aside, that have got a lot of money too. So 1 ounce of gold, you might think, oh, what happens if you know, a doomsday happens and I've got to go and barter, you know, what am I going to do with an ounce of gold? Well, you're not going to be bartering with any kind of gold out on the street. You want to be bartering with silver, even if you have to barter with 1 kilo silver bars. The gold, you're not going to have any problem selling it, you know, for the currency, or converting it into silver from anyone, simply because it's so portable. And there's still a lot of rich people out there. Don't worry about that. There are so many millionaires and billionaires these days. You know, won't be long before we've got trillionaires. So with these kangaroos, they're awesome. You got to love the sound of silver when it's when you click it. But look, it's just bullion, even though I'm wearing gloves because I don't want them to get, you know, black stains, dirty, because, you know, silver does tarnish. It doesn't really matter in the end. I mean, silver is silver, even if you got dirty silver. Once you melt it down, sprinkle a little bit of borax on top, remove any impurities, you still, you know, you got silver. Easy to take out, not so easy to put back in. I'll get back onto that another time. Yeah, so this is how these kangaroos come. They come in tubes of 25. The more collectible ones, like the kookaburras, come in 20 rolls of 20. And obviously, yeah, you're paying probably $3 or $4 more for a kookaburra, but you're also getting them in nice capsules, you know, because of the, you know, collectability, so you can hold it and look at it and so on. But you know, I'm just into bullion coin. That's my thing, you know. every now and then I might buy something that's interesting, you know, like this 1 ounce gold coin. I could have bought just a 1 ounce bar and probably saved myself 30 bucks or so, but you know, I wanted something to also, you know, especially when it comes to gold. Gold premium isn't as much as silver, especially these days, so you're getting more closer to what the spot value is. And yeah, so the only thing with copper is that if you wanted the same value in gold in copper, you're going to need 250 kilos of it at today's scrap prices. Right, so a quarter of a ton of copper is the same value as just 1 ounce of gold, and 2 kilos and 3 ounces of silver, same value. So that's, say, you know, $2,200. So if you had 10 of them, that's what's that, $22,000 worth. You would need 20 kilos of silver and 30, so 21 kilos of silver. Now 21 kilograms of silver, which is about 45 pounds. You try putting 45 pounds into your back pocket and walking down the street with it, or having to move that around. And but like I said, there are people that have got 5,000 ounce stacks, and you should see them. They're stacking them in like military boxes, and they got like 12 different military. I mean, my gosh, you know, you need a vault. Yeah, and yeah, so I mentioned with these gold fingers, they're okay. Like I said, on a good day with a good refining process, you need about at least 5 kilos or 11 pounds of gold fingers, good, well trimmed, not, you know, and not many gaps, to get 1 ounce of gold. So, but gold fingers, if you're scrapping, you're street scrapping, you're picking up e-waste, whatever, you slowly accumulate this, especially for the younger guys. You just keep putting away your gold fingers, and you know, every 11 pounds of it, you're getting 1 ounce of gold. So, you know, long term, this is free. So get it for free. CPUs, obviously, if you're lucky enough to find ceramic CPUs, the better. But you know, we're also getting all kinds of IC chips and a lot of gold recovery from e-waste, even modern e-waste, and not just gold. We've got silver, we've got palladium, copper, even some platinum. Yeah, so that's all I really wanted to sort of go on about today. Just having a bit of a drink here. Nice Sunday. A really nice warm day today. Cool breeze. It's all happening. So I'm just yeah, plodding along, scrapping out stuff, keeping my e-waste stuff down. Thought I'd yeah, just throw a real oddball bullion video in. First time in a long time. But yeah, however you stack, I think potentially, you know, I still think that silver and gold is where it's at. If you can afford it, if you got some money, you know, you got a decent job, even if you buy 1 ounce a year, it's something. And ideally in the ounce, but even if you're buying 5 ounce coins, or probably even better, cheaper 5 ounce blobs, sorry, half ounce blobs, and then one day you can convert those blobs into 1 ounce coins, or whatever you want to do. But silver, don't go for fractional silver, quarter ounce, half ounce. You know, if you can't afford much, you can only, you know, just save up till you can just get 1 ounce of silver every so often. Find yourself a local bullion dealer to save on shipping or anything. You just walk in there, just pay cash over the counter and get yourself an ounce coin every so often. And ideally, a good branded one, a country's mint, Australian Perth Mint, American Silver Eagle, or a Buffalo, you know, as I said, Canadian Maple, whatever. And if you ever get a chance, get yourself kilo bars, at least one, just so you can hold it. I put out these two because I like them for different reasons. This one's just a perfect little fisty size bar just awesome. Perth mint, very straightforward, very plain, not much to it at all. They mostly only polish the top. They put their little stamp, 1 kilo, 9.99. That's all you need. And pan Swiss, a little bit more fancier, serial number, and a lot of stamping here. Nice, frosted kind of look. And but you could actually polish this up if you wanted to. You can make it mirror finish like that, no problem. But yeah, just super beautiful to hold. Just the most perfect, I mean, this is, what they say, that gold and silver is God's money, right? Paper money is the devil's money. So God, when he created money, and he said, okay, people are going to have 1 kilo bars of this money, and he felt he made the density just right to make it just right. Just feels right. 1 kilo, obviously, in America and other countries that are still on the old system, is 2.2 pounds. So there you go. Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't buy a 1 kilo gold because that's way out of my league. But there are a lot of people that buy 1 kilo gold bars, people that are on high incomes. And why not? Cheap, well, not cheap, but the lowest premium. And don't know what else to talk about. I don't really want to, try and sound like I'm, trying to convince people to get into gold and silver. But, obviously I do eWaste every day. I do, all my videos are about eWaste and saying, oh, check out those fingers, there's going to be some good gold in that. Or, oh my God, I've got a Pentium Pro. Oh, awesome, because we're looking at gold and silver recovery and palladium and all that sort of stuff. So, it's something that I'm thinking about all the time. Unfortunately, to get just the same value in the copper, I've got to store 1/4 of a ton of this. No, it's not my, like, where do you store 1/4 of a ton? Oh, it's not so hard. I mean, it does add up. These things can be quite heavy, but, I'd rather just sell it in smaller quantities and get myself silver, or eventually get a little bit of gold. Anyway, guys, that's enough for me. Keep scrapping. Go out there and do your own research. Work it out for yourself whether this is the sort of thing you might be interested in investing a little bit of money. For younger guys, it's awesome. Silver, once you get the silver bug, you're going to love it. But just be wary. Don't go into the collectible side of it, and you got to have this coin, you got to have that coin. Don't worry about that. Just lost my battery. Yeah, whatever you stack in the end, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep stacking. Forget about paper money. No point in having it in the bank because it's not making you much interest. But obviously you still need some paper money. You still got to live, and you got to buy your regular normal things. And yeah, it's always a good idea, even speaking of paper money, to just hold a little bit of paper money on hand. Always try and have, depending on your level, at least $100 or a couple $100, or if you're working, have $500 somewhere stashed away, just in case. Who knows? Internet can go down, the banks can close up, and you just want cash. You don't want to sell your stuff to just buy a few groceries and stuff, so yeah, a bit of diversifying. So anyway, let us know what you are into. Are you a copper stacker? Are you just picking up scrap and stacking your copper for future investment? Like I said, this is here in Australia, $9 a kilo for number 1 candy. Millbury's $9.50. Are you just stacking copper for investment, future investment, long term, 10 years, 20 years? Are you stacking silver? Are you into into a bit of silver? If you're in America, well, it's kind of un-American not to own at least an ounce of silver. I mean, history-wise, silver was always it, and yeah, if I was in America, I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing now, stacking a bit of silver. I do stack a little bit of copper. I try and keep 100 kilos or so always, as just a little, nest egg. Try and stack a bit of gold. I don't get to buy 1 ounce golds very often, but every so often I treat myself to a 1 ounce gold. Awesome. And obviously, as you know, I stack a lot of eWaste, gold recovery stuff, and ICs, you name it, I stock a lot of that. So this is my strategic stockpile: eWaste, a bit of gold, silver and copper. Let us know in the comments below which ones of these are you interested in, or do you stack? Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what some of my subscribers are into, and especially if you're into stacking eWaste, what type of eWaste are you stacking? If you're into silver, what kind of silver do you prefer? Yeah, and as I was saying to the newer people into silver, don't get into the thing of buying collectible silver, because in the end, no one's going to buy that collectible off you if you really need it. But depending on your income level and so on, So, well, that's it for me. So, hope that was a bit of fun. Don't know how informative it was for anyone. You probably all know this. It's nothing new. I'll just put my little Pentium Pros away. Yeah, and obviously this is just a tip of the iceberg as far as my ceramic CPUs go. I've got a lot more Pentium Pros, stacks of 486s, a lot of this sort of stuff, and there's no hurry. It's I've been stacking it for as long as I've been scrapping, and especially, I keep saying, especially the younger guys, just keep stacking, keep plodding away. Don't be in a hurry to cash your stuff in, because there's plenty of time for that. Get a job and while you can, and and keep stacking, because if you're a teenager and you're into scrapping e-waste and stuff, well, imagine what you would have in, like, when you turn 50, a real retirement nest egg, and it all adds up, just one finger strip at a time. Some, you might go a week without getting one. The next week you might get 5. Sometimes you get a whole stack of them, and just keep building it up, and yeah, it all adds up, guys. Keep scrapping, have fun, and I'll catch you next time.